Welcome to Cloud Gardens. As I understand it, this is a game where we sort of um, grow over um, existing terrain, and try to make something larger than the sum of its parts. Um, because of course it is uh, it is um you know, people often, if you play post-apocalyptic games, you look at these kinds of environments and they're overgrown with like grass and trees. I mean, one thing that really stuck out to me was in The Last of Us, quite late into the game, you explore areas that are covered in um, just greenery. And it's actually kind of beautiful in a weird way. I mean, it's a functional sort of end of human civilization, right? But at the same time, it's the earth kind of reclaiming um that space, right? Because we've industrialized and we've taken all of these once, very green and alive places, and we are turning them into something very grey and something very, you know, less appealing. Some would say, right? I would say, I would say, I think that greenery is nice, and we should preserve those parts of the world to the best of our ability. And it's a little bit beautiful, but also a lot cathartic, I think, to see something which is overgrown with greenery in what is otherwise a very industrialized area, somewhere that is very very human intervention, very man-made. There's something really cathartic about seeing nature win, I guess, in those cases, because I'm not against progress, people. I am not particularly anti-technology or anything. I just think we have a world, and it's good to treat the world right. Right? It's good to treat the world right. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that necessarily. No reasonable person, at least, would disagree with treating the world in a way that allows the world to thrive, right? And I think that some people prioritize, in fact, everybody to some extent, or at least I'm guilty of this to myself, some people prioritize what is convenient, what is easy, over what is necessarily best for the planet, right? When you get stuff delivered to your house and it comes in these big packages, we all know that that is objectively pretty horrible as far as like the environment goes, but it's convenient, right? And I think most of us are guilty of that, and I do think it is good and it is right to kind of try to reduce that, right? I think that's the right approach there, but there's only so much that we can that we can do, because on an individual basis, you can't hold people individuals, I mean, responsible for climate change or industrialization. These are not things that are done by individuals. Um, there are systemic reasons that these things happen. Um, and you know what? Um, it is true that some people have a greater impact on those systems than most, right? We have billionaires who have loads and loads of money, and they should be held responsible for their impact on climate, certainly. But even those people who are funding these companies, it would be wrong to say that they are individually responsible for the state of the planet, because at the end of the day, this is something that we've been guilty of for over 100 years now. We've been making decisions that are momentarily beneficial for humanity, but in the long term are catastrophic for the planet Earth, right? Um, which I think that understanding and that perspective is part of the reason why it's so nice to see those kinds of environments where technology and industrial kind of live or die even with nature, right? One of my favorite games of all time is Tokobot Plus. And in that game, the environments of that game are very um they're technological, but everything's very full of life. There's a lot of green, there's a lot of like plant life in that game. A lot of the robots and stuff, they're made of like stone. They don't look like they're made, some of them, this is not true for all of them, but they're made of like stone. They're made of unrefined materials, right? I think that kind of aesthetic is really, really appealing. We have technology that looks like it could be part of Earth, right? We've got technology that looks like um, it's a harnessing of nature's blessing rather than a kind of corruption of it. I guess that's one way you could kind of describe industry, is like technically these things, um, alloys, electricity, technically all of these things are harnessing um, what nature has laid out for us. But equally, would it not be true to say that we've kind of turned it against itself, right? Because at the end of the day, metal is just rocks and electricity is just energy that you get from largely motion, all things which exist in nature, and it feels like it might be a corruption of um, of that nature to take it and kind of turn it against itself. Because now the rocks and the energy that we get from electricity, that's now harming the planet, because there's fumes and all terrible things that we're putting into the atmosphere. It's it's sad. But that is the world we live in, isn't it just? So I don't know. But this kind of this game's pretty cool. I feel like um these kinds of environments are very, to me at least, very aesthetically pleasing. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I like this. I like how this looks. And can I solve this puzzle? I'm thinking perhaps we've done it. Perhaps. That's got to be 100%. Come on. There we go. But yeah, I mean, this is a really cool game because it's kind of challenging you to... The plant growth is not... And maybe I'm misunderstanding the game mechanic. The plant growth is not very predictable. So there's a little bit of experimentation that goes into trying to figure this out. But this is so pretty. I mean, the graphics are really cool. I'm really into this kind of aesthetic of the kind of low poly, you know, not very detailed textures. I'm very into that. And then you take that and you put it on these beautiful environments and stuff, and it is just so gorgeous, isn't it? But yeah, I think the unpredictability of plant life is one of the most appealing factors of a puzzle game like this. Is I don't fully understand how this is going to grow, and so it kind of fosters that creativity. It's kind of like the pixel sandboxy game. I'm sure I've played it on the channel already, but maybe I haven't. But it kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I just need to observe the interactions to find out. I talked about this in the World of Goo video, actually, but I find it very interesting when a dev team just kind of comes up with some systems and then builds the game around the behaviors that emerge from that, right? We're talking about taking what is fundamentally a sandbox and then building puzzles around it. I think that's super cool. I think that's really appealing from a game design perspective. And this is exactly what this is doing, right? I think, at least. Can I throw it on the bottom, maybe? I don't think so. There doesn't seem to be a way to angle the camera along the x-axis, so I'll just throw it on the side here. I mean, really what I want it to do is kind of grow downwards towards the car, but I don't know how well I'll achieve that. It is interesting though, because I'm placing like road signs and stuff, and I'm using that to build the plant life. It seems almost kind of, or to grow the plant life, it seems almost kind of certainly unintuitive. Will this pop them off? I don't want to get rid of it. I actually want it, if I could, I would like it to grow onto the signs, but it doesn't seem like it does that nearly as much as I would like. But it is so cool watching it grow. I really appreciate that I bought all those itch.io bundles at the time that most of them came out, because I would never have found this game otherwise, I don't think. I just sometimes go through all my itch.io bundles. I've got like 6 of the things, and they've all got hundreds and hundreds of games. And it's kind of amazing what people come up with. Right, and look how much that grows. Can we kind of get it to follow along here? I don't know. It is getting down, like it will reach the car. This one gives the maximum growth, right? So why don't I just throw that on like here and see where that sprouts out to. I mean, it should spread pretty far, right? Actually doesn't appear to have gone terribly far, but... Oh, there we go. So I just need to... Oh, and it sprouts a lot as well. I can imagine there's different, like more different kinds of plants as well. It would be pretty cool to see how they all behave differently. Just this is the kind of game that I think I could easily play quite a lot, because it's just like... It's fun just to play around with. Like, I don't need to get the right answer necessarily to have fun with it, although it is very enjoyable. But I think I'll leave it there. There you go. Cloud Gardens, a very neat little game. What is this? Is this going to be like a beanstalk? I definitely want to see a beanstalk. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's like a tree. Yeah, cool. Yeah, see ya.